we're back. Episode 7. We need to fill in a neighborhood right here in this funny shape. It kind of looks like a shoe, a weird cartoon shoe. The first thing we're going to do is kind of mark out the district. I've been keeping track of the district names. Y'all can see the industrial assets are over there in Foggy Hills. Right now we're working on this district right here. It's called King Heights, but we're going to rename it Park Hill. Shout out to Wu-Tang Clan. They ain't nothing to fuck with.
You need to diversify your bonds, nigga.
I'm going to shut down the industrial traffic on this one road because I don't like how they're using it as a little cut through. And you can see it's not much to the road network at all because we don't have that much space. Right here up against this industrial road with our oil tankers, we're just going to put some disused commercial warehouses. I don't know what I want to do with that graffiti warehouse just yet, but we're going to kind of do a little bit of blending just to kind of make it look like it's a part of the neighborhood. But I don't really know what this is going to be yet. We'll have to come back to that. Speaking of things we'll come back to, I'm marking this one little square right here. It's gonna be some kind of a park, some kind of winter asset. I don't know what yet, so we'll come back to that later on. We're just gonna kind of mark that spot out. Right here against this road, I wanted to, of course, make it double-sided assets, but I had to really be like mindful, make sure I use some stuff. No big back energy right there in that little space. Down here on the canal, I wanted something that kind of really showed that that decrease in height, but still had sort of a commercial feel. So that first row of stuff was all kind of one matching asset pack. I think Chrysler did those, and the rest of this stuff is just row houses from the Manhattan pack. This area isn't the poorest place in town, but you can tell, you know, it wasn't just one person in charge of the architecture. There's a lot of people in here getting money. I'm gonna add some of those fake windows to the side of that building. And again, right here on this road that kind of leads to more of a residential side of town, we just mixing it up. I'm going through the assets and seeing just kind of what works. Really, there's no method to this, except I just want it to look kind of grungy. We're gonna move into some more like grandma type houses, but just not yet. I wanted the row houses to not just die right there on the canal. I felt like those houses would have had a little bit more residential in them, since the location they are in is kind of you know, considered prime for Cold Harbor anyway. I mean, everything here is icy and cold and ridiculous, but there's still prime real estate, and along that canal is definitely some of that. We're gonna add a Chipotle to. Oh, my man just climbed up in there and delivered them goods. Chipotle on the corner. We got the Walgreens. Those are two functional assets, and those are gonna lead us into the little neighborhood that we are building. Like I said, I wanted to do some kind of more chilled, maybe I guess considered historic for this city housing, and I'm gonna actually enclose the whole neighborhood in like a sort of a fenced in, not gated, because I didn't want to have to deal with like having a guard booth or anything like that. And again, they ain't getting money like that. I mean, this is Cold Harbor, baby. They got a little money back in the day. Some of these families sat on that money as the city kind of built up around them. We're not talking millions and millions in dollars, but definitely enough to where they can have a nice brick fence around their whole neighborhood. I went on the asset workshop and I downloaded some of these little pillars to kind of make it just have a little bit more, you know, weight to the fence. I didn't want it to just be straight brick, you know, network, that's all. And I'm actually going to go through and take my time, since it's such a small neighborhood, which again is one of the advantages to my play style. Small neighborhood, I can really go crazy on the details. When the neighborhood sprawls out, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of get tired of it. All right, man, now I got to do bruh front yard too, man. Bruh finna have just this little stump. That's all bruh got is a stump. On here, I can kind of, you know, this street, maybe they got the fences like this right here that aren't all the way connected, but still separate the properties. You know, you might see me use some with the gates on them. You know, like this one right here. This is a perfect spot to use with the gate fences. I like how this street dead ends. We're gonna put some detail, maybe a hockey goal at the end of this during our detail and time lapse. But no house is the same. Nothing is universal. There was no way for me to do one and like copy everything over. But that just means, you know, houses get individuality. Like some people got smoke coming out their chimney. They got chestnuts roasting and whatnot. Some people don't. Some people gonna have snowmen and some people ain't. That I like that individuality. While I finish that up, we're gonna get into the comment of the week, which comes from Shakira Payton. She say she been watching me from the beginning, man. For real. From the beginning. Let me think about that, man. Let me think on that.
You know what? That nigga is absolutely Goddamn right.
I definitely remember seeing your name or avatar from way back in the day, and like you stick out because let's be honest, it's not a lot of black people playing this game like that, and it's even less black females probably playing this game. So I definitely remember saying your name. I appreciate you rocking with me from the long time. We're gonna name something after you at some point. Right now we're gonna get back to that little area I carved out that I knew I wanted to make into a park. You can see me use Bob to strip this winter asset down, and fingers crossed, I know they got some animation. Y'all can see the wall right there. We can see through on the earth. The mission one is making this feel like it belongs here, not like it's just kind of stuck in. So that's why you see we work with Bob off gate, and the next thing we work with is some retaining walls. I thought about doing it with a key, but this is a really compact space. We couldn't spare anything, so you can see we got the kids sliding down, all types of laughter and frivolity going on, and we got people moving into these houses. We took the game off pause. I need to do that a lot more. I'll be forgetting to take the game off pause. There's nothing to worry about. We're super in the green right now. I think it used to be I didn't want to go broke, but now that I'm in the green, I just be forgetting to do it. Right here in this little space, I thought would be perfect for some type of, at first I was thinking maybe like an info stand or something like that, but none of them looked, hold on, let me slide this little people gathering spot. I need them people to get up out of there because I want to save that for some detailing. I thought about using, like I said, a little kiosk or something like that, but I wanted something that had a little bit more weight. This asset actually comes with the Parks pack, I believe. It's like a coffee shop, but I'm going to detail it up and make it into my own kind of custom coffee shop. I'm also using some of these fire pits back here. The area that's behind the slide, I just kind of wanted to make it, I mean, it's not like people are back here grilling or anything, but, just like a little gathering spot. You can see me sprinkling around some of those snowmen. We got firewood. We got pretty much anything I could raid out of that nature. The parks pack, but actually the nature parks is the stuff I was using because it kind of has the feel of Cold Harbor. Definitely gonna hit it with some of these winter alders, and I got some barricades off the workshop to use for something else, but one of the barricade in assets is slanted, so I thought that would be a perfect time to use that. I also wanted to put a giant billboard on the side of this, and I thought, let's do something Canadian. I went and kind of did my research on Tim Hortons because I had heard the name before, but I don't know what they have. The food do look kind of good. Like that wrap kind of look like it's hitting. It seemed like a fancier Dunkin' Donuts to me, man, but they definitely got some stuff on that menu that I would smack. That chicken sandwich would get smacked. I bet you people in the comments right now, ooh, that chicken sandwich nasty. I don't live up there, man. Let me just live in my fantasy, man. We don't got those down here in the South. We're gonna put a few more props down here. We pretty much done with this area, and I'm definitely feeling the way the space was used. I love how it's close to that industrial asset. I know it's not safe, but this is Cold Harbor. Everything is close to some kind of industrial asset, man. Just don't breathe that deep. You'll be fine. You ain't gonna get the black lung. I gotta do some detailing. I'm about to turn this radio up. Y'all stay tuned.
Now let's take it way back to when Grandma was for the streets.
Well, I did suck a dick in 1932, but that's been years ago.
99.3 WCHL. Chill Nation.
ain't even gonna hold y'all, man. That's one of the waviest flips I done heard in a long time, yo. Shout out Dream City Lo-Fi. All right, so let's get up under this highway right here, man. We got this office building. As you can see, the heights are crucial. Danger close onto that highway, but it definitely has just enough clearance. Probably not for like the real world, but for City Skylines and for Cold Harbor, we not clipping the highway. That's good enough for me. I don't need, we ain't got regulations and the government telling us what to do. Across the street, I got this one commercial asset. It was perfect to just hit with some signs and a little bit of props. You can see it already looks like a commercial asset. I didn't even really have to bob anything off. So I just hit the front side with a few of our classics. Trash can from the Target pack. I actually downloaded the whole Target just to use the bollard and the trash can. I like that red trash can. Couple of bikes outside of the Mr. Donut and one of those French newsstands. I also got this functional bookstore asset. It kind of looks like a facade, like a prop, but it's an actual functional commercial asset. Behind the building, I wanted to at least care a little bit. I told y'all I've been trying to apply myself and not give up on spots like that. Now, when it came time to move this street, y'all remember we had this delivery street for those commercial assets down there. It took me a while to figure out what I was gonna do, but I found this building right here and I moved that one street. I connected up that one street, and all I gotta do is kind of hit this building right here with some procedural objects. We gotta shrink it up a little bit just to kind of fit it in. I wanted to leave it functional, a functional industrial asset, but we can just put a block in there. It'll work almost the same. We could probably even get away with putting like a functional vanilla industrial building just inside of it. It's a big building, you know what I'm saying? I've told y'all before, I got a theory: the bigger the industrial asset, the more goods that come up out of there, and that's what we really want. We want goods coming from our city, not coming in from Lake Valley and Rockdale and whatnot. I'm gonna hit the back side of this building with a little bit of finishing touch so we don't have to come back and decorate up this loading dock just a little bit, a few decals and a couple of container props. On the roof, I'm gonna put like I'm gonna put some water towers and stuff up there too, because I really want that view from the highway to kind of have a more hang time, even though the building ain't that tall. And since it's some kind of wood factory, you can see me putting all types of vanilla planks and stuff down. Like I mixed the vanilla with the assets and from the workshop, and that's kind of how I save some of the space on my computer. Across the street, I thought about this little skinny spot for a while, and I was like, you know what, man? Perfect spot for a diner. Perfect spot for the vanilla. This is probably my absolute favorite straight up, vanilla. I think it comes with one of the DLCs though. After Dark, maybe, whichever one comes with the tourism assets. I think that's the pack that it's in, but I love it. I love the textures on it. It has like this modern style that's trying to mimic the old school swag, and I really like that's the definition of everything I be trying to do. Like, that is literally my build style right there in a nutshell, is this diner. I love how it has that 1950s, the curves and even the word diner on it. Matter of fact, I got Volko's diner on there right there, but I'm not feeling that right there, man. We might have to make this some type of way Shakira Payton diner, man. We might have to give Shakira Payton some lore. Either way, it's definitely not gonna be Volko's diner. I don't know no damn Volko's. And we're gonna put some dumpsters on this side and maybe a back exit. I probably should have put the dumpsters on the back side, but I actually like seeing them right there next to the parking lot. So let's zoom out for a second, because we kind of need to change locations to this spot right here. On the last episode, we put down a high school in this little spot by the rail line, but we didn't detail it. I knew I wanted to kind of save that for a different episode because I had something kind of unique I wanted to do with it. And one of the challenges was, not having access to my go-tos for a school, the basketball court. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, every surface is covered with snow. If it's a surface, it's covered with snow. We'll circle back to that being a problem a little bit later in this episode, but again, the one of the challenges to detailing up the high school was, how do I fill up that extra space, especially the space in this school right here is right there by that train line. It's in the back. On the side, you can see me putting in a custom parking lot, and I actually do this like little cool wraparound thing using retaining walls. These is all just retaining wall props that I have resized to kind of make my own little unique path. And it's really just so I can control the color. I wanted the color to really be close to the school color. On the back side, in the empty space where the train track track is, you can see me working with one of those mobile office assets. I'm using like a couple of different assets to kind of create an overflow trailer. When I was a youngling and I was in school, we kind of in a poor school district, we would run out of class space, or sometimes when they was doing construction on certain part of the schools, they would have these trailers they just pulled up and just had on campus, and you would just have to go in the trailer for a little while. Now, when I started going to high school, which is another poor school, they had them all the time. And I actually have a funny story on my TikTok right now, which if you are on TikTok, you should be following me at Red Kool-Aid, because I'll be on there acting the fool. But anyway, we had these overflow trailers at our school that never, they used to say it was temporary, but they never left. On the back side of the school, I felt like it was a little opportunity, and now that I'm looking at it, that red don't really match the way it matches the trim. That's cool. I'm cool with that. I was thinking like, hold it don't match the red, but I wasn't trying to match it to the brick. I'm trying to match it to that trim down there. So we're gonna hit it with a few of these machines. I'm even gonna put one of those clothing drive type boxes back there. So if you feeling charitable, high school kids, please bring in your used Yeezys and hoodies that y'all wear even when it's 95 degrees outside.
You are up, bro. You doing too much.
So I had to add the lights to the outside because the school kind of looked really like dark and unsafe to be a high school. So I made sure I went and added some of those. They're actually tunnel lights, but I'm using them as wall lights. Over here in the parking lot, I felt like was a cool little spot to maybe do like the bus pickup and drop off for the kids coming through at 7:30 in the morning. Maybe you sitting on this bench sneaking and smoking a cigarette like me. Please don't be like me, man. Do good in school. Stay in school, y'all. Out front, we're going to hit it with some planters and a couple of those rusty shrubs I've been using. I love those shrubs. It's hard to find plants that work, I'm telling y'all, man. Also, from the workshop, I got this little high school sign. Y'all can see we renamed it Cold Harbour High. We probably should have named that Shakira Payton High School, man. We got to do something. She been down for a long time, man. She ain't lying. I definitely remember seeing that name from the way back. Speaking of folk from the way back. So a while back on my first series, I had an asset that I kind of hollowed out, and I was thinking, you know, what would be a good idea for this? I said something about it in the episode, and I got a comment from a guy named Drunk Wolf. Y'all done heard me mention him a couple times. He said, yo, you should make that into a custom car, showroom, repair shop, yada, yada, yada. We got the comment. I think we got the comment somewhere. Boom, on screen. So at the time, I thought, yo, this is a good idea to fill that little spot up. So I went on the workshop. I remember downloading pretty much, you know, a lot of the classic old school vintage car assets and billboards and anything that I could think of that could kind of detail the inside of it. And this is the actual building. It's a different color, but this was the building that I chose to do that. I kind of hollowed out, and I figured out I can, you know, kind of make me an interior to this. Now, back in these times, my procedural object skills was rudimentary to say the least. But these days, I'm in my Jedi bag. Like, I might not be a master, but I'm definitely sitting on the council. I'm sitting on the council.
How can you be on the council and not be a master?
All right, so step one is just going through and finding those two nodes that lift up the doors. There's just really just two nodes that if you can find them with the procedural objects mod, the bay doors lift straight up. There's no like residual weirdness on the backside because there's no geometry on the backside. Next, I'm gonna go through and copy some of the door prop assets that I downloaded from the workshop over the outside of where the door is. And then you can see me reaching for this window. Now, I'm just snatching this off and we're gonna sit this to the side. We don't really need it right now, but it's gonna come in ultra handy a little bit later on. Next, I'm taking a retaining wall and I'm just blending it to make it match the outside of the building itself, and I'm sliding it in right past where the geometry dies, because there's nothing on the inside of these buildings if you open them up. So we're creating our inside, and I'm using this retaining wall to do the majority of it. But where this process is going to differ from my Veridian County process is it's not going to be just a flat flush wall. We're going to go through, like you can see me right now working with some more of the door assets, and we're going to flip to the inside of the building. Excuse the darkness, the sun was on the wrong side, but we got to make sure we mirror what we do on the outside on the inside. So when we're looking at it from the inside, it looks kind of authentic and everything kind of syncs up. Like the windows were one thing that I know I didn't do the first time I did this process, but it adds so much to the interior that I went through and cloned all the windows, even those small ones on the end, and again just sliding them right past where the geometry dies so they stick out on this side, but you don't see any of the other side of it sticking out on the exterior. Right now I'm just going through and copying the shapes that I have. Now that I pretty much have the shapes of the whole building, like the columns and stuff, it's just kind of copy and paste and filling in stuff. I'm also taking this corrugated roof asset. Now this is one thing that I did do the first time, but I'm going to actually do it a little bit better. I'm going to make it flat and I'm going to slide it through. I really like that rusty roof interior. You could tell that the Drunk Wolf family has been passing this garage down from generation to generation, getting that auto repair money and that showroom money, fine imports and whatnot. So right now I'm still going through on the wall and making sure I copy all these little pillar shapes. I'm also using some of these platforms. If anybody saw the Rivergate series where I built I think it was the interior where they were doing like the prize fight in the fight club, I built like a really extensive platform network. I'm not going that over the top with this one. I just wanted to have a platform in it to kind of fill up some of the space, but not too much, because I wanted to bear in mind that we need space for cars and stuff. So you can see the interior of this one is definitely looking a lot more authentic. I know a lot of y'all probably never saw an episode of Iridian County, so we're gonna run some of that old school footage. You can see I really like, it's just night and day difference, man. Look at that. It's just a flat wall on this one, but this one right here, we took our time and we did what we had to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and lock this into place. This is right outside of Broken Hill, across the street from that high school we just put in. I'm also gonna copy the shape and I'm gonna stack it up so I can actually build 2 service areas. It was kind of a toss-up between showroom and garage because they don't really serve the same purpose. The showroom needs to stay kind of clean. A garage, of course, gonna have oil and stuff all over the place. So I'm not doing like a fancy Hollywood type showroom, but in the lore of our city, this is definitely a popping garage. People come from all over to show their cars off. People be inside. It's kind of like more like a chill spot than just a place of business, at least on the lower level. On the upper level, we're gonna have that as like a regular garage. Right now I'm just using some props to kind of fence up some of this. Is something that I didn't kind of foresee, that when that door is blocked by the street. So I'm just gonna kind of cover this up with a couple of poster assets just to make it kind of look like I meant to do that. Y'all don't even ignore that. Let me delete this one we don't need, and we're gonna go ahead and make sure we hit this with the complete pavement, the surface painter, because without it, them rocks will stick through. And I'm also gonna put some of our pipes on the outside. Next episode, I think we're gonna show what these pipes are all leading to. I gotta slide this rail line back a little bit off the asset because it was kind of digging in, and we really don't want that. And I'm gonna also hide that with a couple of our giant rock assets. On the back side of the building, I'm stretching out one of the gray retaining walls, but I'm also going to double this up with one of the retaining walls that we colored, so the back side sort of has a trim that matches the rest of the building. So the sun's getting real low. You know what that means? It's props and assets time as far as the interior. So the first stage of this was giving my man a custom sign. I started out just cloning the colors from the Charlie's joint, but the little logo emblem I decided to go with got more of that Mr. Miyagi tone, so we decided to mix that up. We're also gonna add some distress text, and we're gonna save that into our procedural objects folder. Then we're gonna use one of our little beer signs, the beer billboards. We're gonna kind of shrink this down and use it as like a brace piece, just to give it a little bit more weight to the whole billboard, our custom billboard, so it's not just stuck up there. We're gonna use some of these little clearance barricade things and some garage props. I downloaded a few different assets, but I also found a pack made by, I think it's a Japanese dude, man, but he really went in as far as like making stuff that feels like a garage. This bottom part right here is disused. People don't drive through these doors no more. Like I said, it be other type of events and stuff going on this bottom part, so we're gonna put some normal street props in front of that. On the inside, I wanted to use one of these little mobile offices, and we're gonna kind of use that because when you go in the garage, it's always got like a little office area where I'm sure they keep some type of records or something, probably written on paper. The lower part, I'm using props that have a little bit more of like maybe even an amusement park kind of feel. You can see me using like popcorn machines and stuff like that. That's because this is our showroom area, and that's not a fancy, glossy, look like that room where they pick the guns on the Matrix type place, but it's gonna have our showroom there. This is what I was talking about earlier about the snow being on everything. For some reason my brain blanked out and I didn't realize that prop cars have snow on them too. There's no version of procedural objects, there's no nothing that does away with that. So we're gonna have to use our, tell them SpongeBob. That's my imagination. You damn Skippy. So just imagine that we don't see that right now. I'm laying out some of the classic vintage cars. Got the bike from Akira, got one of James Bond's whips, and I'm still putting lockers and stuff around. Big graffiti mural on the back wall. And over here I felt like, you know, instead of just, you know, putting, I don't know what, some chairs, let's put like a little DJ area. Maybe every once in a while one of our local DJs come through, he be setting up, people be freestyling, busting all types of dances, shooting TikTok videos. Y'all know how they do. I got some of the 70s dance characters, the little animated joints, but I tried to pick ones that had, you know, not so 70s clothes. Now my DJ man got the whole afro, he looking like Tito Jackson up there. We can't do nothing about that. But the females, they just got dresses on. I got my man doing the hip hop dances. He just got a t-shirt on. The rest of these work. We just gonna fill in the space. Put a little, what's this poster, old school, vintage Oldsmobile type poster in the background. Just filling up the area before we jump to the up top. Because when we get to the up top, we gotta actually build something that looks like a garage. Man, we can't just, it can't be all good times. We gotta have some work going on up in here too. I'm also gonna put a grill man outside. Shout out Rivergate series, RIP Rivergate series. We gotta have a grill man, even though them burgers is cold, them steaks is cold, everything that man got is cold. But we're gonna put a little sieve in the chair that also has snow on him. And we're gonna move on to our garage. I'm putting these yellow bollards outside. I actually saw these outside at Jiffy Lube the other day, and I said when I do my garage build, I gotta put the yellow bollards out there. So and they come vanilla. I just can't remember the name of them. They're not bollards. They're called something else. More of the clearance barricades and a few of these flatbed props kind of sprinkled around, and a real tow truck prop that took me forever to find on the workshop. I'm also gonna put the office in a slightly different spot on this floor right here, just to force my mind to see the area different. You can see I also had the wash basin, little shelves. Man, dude that did the Japanese props, he went in, and he had these little car lifts. Now I'm not gonna put like every single one raised up. I want to kind of make it varied, and I'm only gonna really probably put one car up in the air because I really don't want to block out my scene. We are gonna have to throw a few car props, and I thought about this after the fact. I should have put one functional parking asset right on the end, so every once in a while at least that car changes. Right now you can see me putting the toolboxes and shelves. I got some open cabinets, and in this one little area over here I thought it would only be right, since these dudes be in here. I'm sure Drunk Wolf, he runs a tight ship. They gotta have a little kind of, not rest area, but just a little chill area. So we're gonna put some arcade machines up here on the platform. Got that Pac-Man jumping off. I'm not sure what the pinball is, but a little something, something. And we got an old school box TV. You ain't got no Netflix on here or none of that, bro. Straight rabbit ears. And we're gonna put an animated screen on that. Put one more little couch down so somebody can kind of get a little couple of Z's while somebody else is watching reruns of Judge Judy. I also forgot to put my little vintage refrigerator down there, but I did remember to put my Miller Lite beer sign. That definitely gives it the man cave vibes. That pretty much does it for this episode, man. I promise y'all this was the most fun I had playing this game in a long time, and I'm always having fun. See, that's the problem. This game is too fun, man. Look, my bills be due, rent coming due, and I'm up here, man. I gotta get my life together. But in the meantime, y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, because all getting my life together means is I'm gonna have more time to make more City Skylines episodes, put out more series, keep dropping that file. So y'all stay tapped in. I'm Kool-Aid, this Cold Harbour. See y'all next time.